I'd like to share this with you guys, and this is mostly a reminder for myself, but whoever else hears this, you're welcome to the information. There are people out there, and also things, because we have to include that now, right? That pretend to be something or someone that they're not. Sometimes they are credit card scammers, sometimes they are Trojan virus implanters, sometimes whatever the fuck it is, identity theft thieves. But they get your attention, or sometimes even you reach out, and then they intercept the communication, and then they continue as the person or the business or the entity with whom you originally started talking. But it's not them, it's someone else under the ruse, right? One of the best ways, if not the best way, to find out exactly with whom you're speaking, remember that for a second, is by their use of the English language. Now, I speak 3 languages. I speak 2 of them fluently. Actually, I could say I speak 3 of them fluently, but in Spanish, it's hard for me to understand like telenovelas when they talk really, really fast. I can get it, I can get the gist, but it's word for word. I'm not at a collegiate level in Spanish. In Russian, I can understand it in my sleep, and in English, hopefully you think that I'm adequate. That being said, English is my best language because I use it more, but it's not my first language, it's my second language. I was born in Russia. So I can tell you the difference between someone who was born in America and who dropped out of high school or just not educated well, right, in terms of their errors in grammar and spelling, and someone who is very educated in all the things, but English wasn't their first language. The errors are different, even if neither of them are using like strong vocabulary words, like if they're both using basic English, I can tell you who is uneducated but was born here, who's a local yokel, so to speak, and someone who's not. And let me tell you something, for the latter, if you're not a local yokel and you open your mouth, the local yokels are gonna fucking eat you alive. Maybe not right away, but as soon as you get a smart one, they're going to step on you because they know, but they don't know why they know. I do. I know the difference. And the way I know this is because, I've been approached by hundreds of scammers, dozens of scammers. And all of them are it's the same thing, like whether it's buying a car on eBay or whatever, Facebook, you see this like sweet deal, too good to be true, and there's a picture of this blonde woman wearing army fatigues, and she says that she's in another state, and you have to send her some money, then she'll send the message to the place to give you the car keys, and her name is Janet Smith, right? Janet Smith, but she says, I want to help you more better than. Or when she, she'll be like, okay then, let's do this. But she misspells the word then. She wrote, okay then. Simple, it's just like one letter change, but that's everything. It's huge. Do you understand? When someone says more better, or okay, this is how things works for me. Things work, not things works, right? The S jumps when it's more than one thing. But people that are very educated, but English isn't their first language, don't know shit like that because they don't teach it in school. And if they do teach it in their school, wherever they learned it, you don't remember that because you have too many other things to learn. I understand. The English language is so fucking confused, and it's so ridiculous, it's so backwards, there, and there. But you know what? If you know it, it is your saving grace. It is beautiful in that sense, because if you know the English language and it's all its little ins and outs, its little intricacies, with whom you're talking, are they ending their sentences in prepositions? No? Okay, that doesn't mean shit. That just means that maybe they don't know. Oh, the guy whose camper they were whacking off in? That's not how you end a sentence. Off in whose camper they were whacking? Much better. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like if you know what movie that's from, 100 points to you. And if you know what context it's in, 100 points to you, that's 200 points. If you know not to end your sentences in prepositions, 50 points. Because that doesn't really matter that much when you get to the level of your local yokels. So, if you want to feel people out, first of all, if you were born in America, you have no fucking excuse. Pick up a goddamn book and understand why you shouldn't end sentences in prepositions. You don't have to do it. You could still say, What the fuck does this matter for? What the fuck does this matter for? Come on. But you were born here, I know that. You know? Pick up a book and learn. And if you do know the English language and you are well versed, if you're a writer, if you're an editor, for Christ's sakes, you know, you can absolutely use that to find the wolves in sheep's clothing, so to speak. And even if you are an editor and you weren't born in America and you know how to edit, like, you know, grammar and spelling, the context and everything that you're doing is still going to be off, to me. Because, like, whoever and whatever, but like I said, we have to include whatever now, you're communicating with, you have to see it as an essence, like as a profile. So something is sending you messages and you're sending them back messages. That's something, that someone has a profile, has an essence, like a ball, right, of energy or whatever it is. That's a soul. Let's call that a soul. Forget about Dolores Cannon and spirituality and all that shit for now. Like, let's put that aside. That essence, that soul, has a profile. And that profile is communicating with you. Just like artificial intelligence can dissect you in terms of profile and what you do in a matter of keystrokes, not even messages, keystrokes. The time it takes you to type the word the holy man. It'll know exactly what's up because of how many letters, blah, 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 blah. And the more data you give it, the more narrowed down the prediction becomes with AI. Well, the same exact way as a human being, you can dissect messages from whoever or whatever is texting you. All you have to do is see that someone or something as an essence or a soul, as a thing. And you try to imagine yourself being that thing and then have no judgment. So, like, you don't imagine that thing talking to you because you're you. You imagine being that thing or that one talking to someone. You start with a blank slate. You don't know anything. You can't see, you can't hear, you can't smell. And then you start to text. And then the thing texts you back and you're still embodying it, and then you talk back to it or them. And then little by little, and the more you do this, the better you become. You will begin to gain this skill of building a profile or really, really embodying that or who you're communicating with. And then you start to push, you start to probe. You start to call them out on certain shit. Like, hey, how come your name is Sam Johnson, but you misspelled the word then when you wrote, okay, then that works. You wrote, okay, then that works. You know that's not how it is. And then if somebody was born in the USA, they know that it's not how it is. Because then is a measurement of time. In this case, okay, then that works. Because it's okay, we're working. Okay, then obviously is a comparison of two different things. John is smarter than Paul. There's no way that those can be convoluted if you speak English. But if you don't, that's hard, very, very hard lesson to learn, like to remember. And that's exactly why the English language is so fucked and beautiful if you know it. It's your greatest friend or your worst enemy. So, yeah, that stuff.